Hi, hello, and welcome back to INSL Boyz, your favorite YouTube channel for all cricket-related news and reviews and everything. We're back again, after a while, and we are back with our guest all the way from England. Dom, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. So
Good,
we're
good.
all back for this video, and from our backgrounds, you would have guessed what are we gonna talk about? The Manchester Saga, the fifth test match between England versus India. Wow, what a game it would have turned out to be, but unfortunately it got scared. It got cancelled, and that's why we got an Indian fan here and we got an English fan here, and we're gonna have an overall opinion on why as an enough fans perspective. So hope Raghav and Bobby, you guys are doing well. Our familiar faces is always there, the stalwarts of INSL Boyz. So yes, first I would like to start off this session. I want to ask Tom like a quick question. And before that, guys, like, share, and also subscribe and hit that notification bell, ting 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 ting, and yeah, go for it. And yes, Dom, my first question to you: do you feel robbed?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. I feel it was going to be a very good last Test match, obviously, and I think we'd have come out on top. So yeah, I do feel a bit robbed. I think it's a bit unfair that the series has been seen as the last Test has been cancelled. It's gone down as an Indian win. I do feel a little bit robbed of that.
I don't
So,
think
so
so.
you
It's
reckon?
official yet. Is it official that India won the series? I don't think so.
Is it not? I thought it did. I thought they went down as India 2-1.
No, they're gonna replay the fifth
Nah,
test match in next coming series.
I think it's still under discussion where they have written to ICC because
Uh,
if ICC decides that the match has been uh, cancelled then or abandoned in
yeah.
that case, it will go to India, and if they consider it as Indian fall, it could be forfeited. So that means it will end up 2-2, or else they could reschedule it. But
Yeah.
we're on the moment. So yes, Raghav,
Yeah,
what do you feel as an Indian fan? What do you think?
Indian players should be feeling we got robbed too because we are leading the series and we could have happily won the series. I mean, yeah, it's hard to guess what happened inside that dressing room, but Uh, thinking about players, I mean, they should have felt hard done. I don't think the players were did so correctly that they were struggling as well. I mean, if you think about it, if player plays for one day, 3 sessions, and every session he goes back and takes a massage or a muscle strain or whatever happens to him, they need the background staff to be with them and prepare them for the next day and the next day. So that's not going to happen. That's not going to carry on for 5 days. So it's all linked with each other. So I don't think so. This could have been good decision to go ahead and play the fifth test match. I don't. Yeah, another thing about player situation is, I mean, they have their families with them over there. They're staying with their small kids over there. So it's all not safe to be saying that it's on the players. I will agree with you on the board situation. The board should be very careful right now. I mean, they should have not allowed this bio bubble that's going on in England to be freed out. So they should have been kept in a like free bio bubble, but not entirely releasing them into the public. So that's where I guess board has done something wrong.
Okay,
Raghav,
so
I really
okay.
accept with your fact that India had a very, very long season with England, starting from
Yeah.
the World Test Championship back in June. So they are here in England for almost more than 3 months. And yes, the hectic schedule and all that. And with the end of the fourth test, we had that COVID issue to the head coach Ravi Shastri. And yes, it was an unfortunate situation. But the point here is none of the players got affected with COVID. So yes, their physio got affected with COVID, and the players were showing some kind of frightness about the COVID situation. And with the big franchise tournament, IPL, with just away from 7 to 8 days. With that, is that also a reason to postpone or cancel this test match?
Yeah, it should.
I
I
mean,
think it.
I would also
There's,
like to. Sorry to
yeah,
interrupt, Raghav. I
yeah,
would also like to have Dom's perspective in that once you
yeah,
finish.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, go on, Raghav.
I mean, it's nothing wrong to say. I mean, it's a fair point saying that IPL was scheduled within 4 days, so that it's like hectic schedule. So they should they should be considering IPL as well. I don't think there's no consideration of IPL, but it is what it is. Like you're saying, players who are not affected, they could have played fifth test match and then gone to IPL in any way. But what I'm saying is, if you're in a COVID situation room once, you're in among with those people. I mean, you can't think about playing for a day and you're going back into the same room where you would have thought like yesterday I got a session with that coaching staff or someone. You would be fearing, like we all fear about virus, right? So it's not easy on those players to do that, and they felt like in IPL they have their own families, like they have the what do you call the big guys to look after themselves and they'll arrange all things over there. So they felt that was the safe thing to do, go back to where they think it's safe. But yeah, I feel I I do think they took it into consideration. I don't think that it's the wrong thing to do.
What's your
What do you
say,
think,
Dom?
Dom?
It's a tough one, obviously, because it's all speculation at the moment. But I think if they're not going to play that last test match, they can't go back and play in the IPL then. And I think it's going to be really hard to finish the IPL with everything going on anyway. Like, the IPL got cancelled in the first place, didn't it? Or postponed. So I think I don't think we've come far enough to say that it's good to go again. Like, they should have just written it off this year and just reassessed when things are a bit better.
Yeah, but I would like to add a point.
Yeah.
I mean, Raghav, sorry for interrupting. I would like to add one point. There's always been that cloud around that fifth test match, even before all of this test series and everything started. India wanted that fifth test match to be, preponed and take place as the first test match, whereas ECB disagreed due to 100, and they say it's gonna be as per schedule. And one more thing that I like personally, what we've seen around media and everything is that if all the Indian players, all the players that are there are the heavyweights of IPL as well, they have to land and stay in a 6-day quarantine since they were not in a bubble to bubble. They were not going to be in a bubble to bubble transfer. So even if they're going to be in a bubble to bubble transfer, they have to stay a 2-day mandatory quarantine in Dubai or Abu Dhabi. But they were going to be, they finished the test match and they had 4 days in between, and the first match is going to be played with the Mumbai and CSK, and half the Mumbai Indian squad are there, and the next day RCB is playing where the captain is there, and so the players wouldn't have been able to finish their 6-day quarantine in Abu Dhabi if the test match ended on the 5th day. So they would have considerably left on the same night or the next day. And how would they have completed a 6-day quarantine and started to? So you think Mumbai Indians would play their first match without Rohit Sharma, Surya Kumar Yadav, and all these players, Jasprit Bumrah, and the RCB is gonna play a match without Virat Kohli and Mohammad Suraj? That's one. That's one
just
point.
average players, not great players, are they?
Yeah. Are you saying why did they go before? Or what? I didn't get your point. Like you're saying,
No,
if the test match
my
happened,
point is, so there's
yeah.
always been this cloud. So how would have they carried this out if the fifth match would have gone on? So there was always, like they just said abruptly, they said that, like, we're not gonna play, we're leaving, and the players left the same day itself.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
like
You're
it's
saying
a
what if the
speculation
fifth
that,
test match takes place?
yeah. So
Then there's no
what would
point.
have we seen?
I don't think the fifth test match could have gone ahead. Like if there's no COVID cases and everyone would have got negative on the morning of the first day of the fifth test match, then I think they would have played the test match and it would have all fine. Like what was the schedule, they would have followed the schedule. So I don't
But
think
all
the
the players were
quarantine
COVID
rule.
negative, right?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
so they would have.
wait. Let me simplify that.
Yeah.
They postponed or maybe they canceled this test match because the Indian players said they are having fear of COVID. That's why they are
Yeah,
canceling this fifth test match. Then what is happening now is they are going to Dubai and Abu Dhabi, UAE to play the
yeah,
IPL.
yeah.
So there also the COVID fear is there. So if they can't play this fifth test match, how are they going to play in the IPL with the COVID fear? Already IPL is postponed because of COVID. So that's also an issue here.
So you were saying they would have stopped the IPL and play the fifth test match.
Why
You really
protest? Or
think the
they,
board would have
if
changed the
okay,
IPL
but
schedule and play the fifth
okay,
test match?
4 days to 3 days, would it be make a big difference? The gap,
Yeah,
if you
you.
postpone by one day?
So sitting here, we can say all the things. It's just 2 days, 3 days, and no one
Yeah.
cares. You know how
No,
much
I'm
the
talking about
IPL
the
TV rights are.
like
You know how much the advertisement things for IPL cost. But like even one ball haven't been bowled in the TV, and it's all like they lose a lot of money. So it's not about thinking it's just 1 or 2 days, so shift it. What's big point in it? So there's a lot of other stuff going around. So it's not us to
Dom,
make the decision.
what do you think on this?
Like what?
Dom?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
It's just tough to. I think everyone's obviously got their own opinion, but I just struggling to get my head around it. Because obviously for me, Test match cricket is the epitome of cricket. And the fact that for me that the IPL has come first is hard. It's hard to get my head around, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like that in everywhere. Like, do you think whole cricketing pattern it is giving like first preference to the Test match cricket? I don't think so.
I mean, I thought India were the people who were carrying the Test cricket at the top.
Yeah, there.
Yeah,
You say me on one other side who's carrying the Test match cricket, then I'll talk to you about
England.
some countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, West Indies, South Africa. They are the powerhouses of cricket once upon a time. Say at least 5 years back, when they have all the great teams and everything. What about now? Are they even willing to play series like
I
Test
mean,
series?
yeah, but now we are only talking about India and that five Test series. So
Yeah,
it's just it will be out of topic if we
It's
go
a
to other
different
countries.
topic to talk.
That's a different whole different topic. Like the point
yeah.
here is Test match cricket being like it's a speculative question. Like we are not sure whether we are right or wrong, but is Test match being compromised? Is the fifth Test match was compromised, keeping IPL in mind? That was that is the
I would
question.
say
Oh
yes.
yes, there.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
yes completely because what did you say? Like if the what ECB cancelled the opinion of keeping the fifth Test match as a first Test match due to what? You tell me. Is it due to what county cricket or something? No, it's due to 100. It's a new format, so you can agree. I can agree with that, but it, I don't think so. I'm not saying it's like they're like completely ruling out Test cricket or anything. It's all entertainment business, and they all spending a lot of money, so they are gonna look after their money. But as a fans, we are disappointed. Of course, like even Dom is disappointed. I'm disappointed. A lot of fans are disappointed. I would like to have seen the fifth Test match. So yeah, that's what I can say about it.
I just
I
think
mean,
it shows a bad. It's just it creates a bad example.
Yeah,
Like there's must have been so many different ways to have handled this, and I think on everyone's part, I just think it's been handled
yeah,
really badly.
yeah. I mean, they should have considered this first. Like one point I made out that board should have been careful with the bio bubbles. It's not over. Everyone knows that. Even though you're vaccinated, you get the virus. So they
Yeah,
neglected that
absolutely.
decision. And they should have like if they should have at least had a period of time when they finish the Test series and between the IPL or when they finish the 100 and between they should have some flexible movement. If some like situation like this happen, they can they can think about option B. So they didn't do that. So that's where both boards or whoever decided this had made mistake.
True, we can
Yeah,
say that as well, and
yeah.
yeah, like I would like to add one more point. It's also another point of concern could be is that like England players or like whoever who was in the test squad has pulled themselves out of IPL, citing
Yeah,
to personal
not a
reasons at the
yeah,
very the main
yeah,
I mean the key players who were playing in that test in the playing 11,
yeah,
they pulled themselves out except for Moeen Ali and
yeah,
Mm.
Sankaran. Others have pulled themselves out, so probably they could have. It was a very last minute pull out, to be honest, and also the fact that probably they could have had like a bio bubble for the at least for the fifth test match, so that when so much things are at stake, something they could have pulled it out, saying only for the last fifth test match, a couple of days before, put them in a bio bubble, and then they could have just gone through it with it, but unfortunately
yeah.
not.
And one more
So
thing is, I don't think the players are sure about where it's gonna be by a bubble and where. Like for example, in test matches there is no bio bubble; they can go around freely. But in IPL there is a bio bubble, I guess, isn't it?
yeah, I mean IPL there's a
Yeah,
strict bio bubble, and also another important fact is on our fans. So most of the fans would have traveled a long distance, spent a lot of hotels or
yeah,
money. Like not everyone would have been
Yeah,
Manchester, right? Some would have
yeah,
traveled from how
yeah,
England is, like from
yeah,
Scotland to all the way to
yeah,
Bristol.
yeah,
People have just gone from miles hotel booking. So I think in terms of a spectator point of view, a lot of spectators who like, to be honest, like seeing fans for a test match is quite rare, which is something that you see in England quite a lot. It's not like you see a full jam-packed stadium for any other like test matches. It's like only when these two big nations or probably Australia plays, you could see this much of crowd. But
yeah.
fans, a lot of fans would have felt disappointed. Like probably I feel like that would put a negative impact or negative effect on them considering to watch a test match next time.
Yes, yeah, though I agree to the fact that the fierce battle between both the sides. So if you look at the first four matches, the quality of the cricket that were played by the best two teams in the world, England and India. So all the test matches almost went to the fifth day, and the fifth day decided most of the test matches that have been played. And for the fifth test match, the hype was massive. We were expecting the greatest battle one more time to witness, England, Anderson and India's calling. But actually what happened was personally, I think the cricket, which had plenty of quality up to that time, was deprived because of quantity, the money. That's what
Yeah.
I personally feel. So as Raghav, you accepted, since IPL was the major reason for the cancellation, that's what has happened.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the fans
I
have been
agree.
deprived from a contest, as Yathu said, all around England, not only all around England, Scotland, Ireland, all the other places as well. So it's a major disappointment. And as a neutral fan, I too feel very sad about this situation.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what I was saying before was I just needed to see a period of gap. Like, if something happens, they could have had a plan B. Like, this is our plan B, we are going to do that. They didn't have any plan B. They were thinking it's all fine, we're going to get the full series and end up all happy. So that's where I thought they went wrong.
How have the Indian fan base taken it? Because obviously the IPL is massive, and obviously it's a massive part of Indian cricket. But I haven't really seen much. But how have the Indian fan base taken the fact that they've not played the last Test match?
Yeah, most of us are very disappointed, to be honest. It's all about this year, particular. It's all about winning Test series all over the world. Like, we're going to go to South Africa next. We are playing in England. We already won in Australia. I think that was most of the tests, like who appreciate the true cricket fans, like interest in. Like, they wanted to see India win in all parts. I mean, to end up a series which has been nerve biting. Like, it's been up and down, like a seesaw or whatever. They were really disappointed. Like I would say that they were waiting for this series to end, and they were waiting for all the celebrations to begin. Like finally won in England after what, 11 years? Oh, sorry, 13 years now, 14 years. So yeah,
it wouldn't have been, but yeah, all right.
yeah.
But still pending.
You
I
still
have
have
a
the
question
fear.
here. I have a question here.
Yeah.
So, do you think if the final test match would have gone, would it be 3-2? I mean, 3-1 or 2-2? Or
Come
Well, based on
on. It's always going to be
based on
2-all.
well,
Is
based
it?
on the Manchester weather, I don't think so it would have been result possible. So yeah, I would say a draw.
Oh, is it? So it would have ended 2-1.
No,
Yeah.
it'd have been 2-all. 100%.
What happened, Dom? Like, why did the Lord's breach happen? Why did the Oval breach happen? Like, we want to just get an insight on that. Like, how did you feel? Like, just collapse.
I'm going to be honest. I actually
Struggling.
expected it. I didn't let not once. Even when we finished, when we were chasing, we finished like 100 for none. I think we did.
Yeah.
Burns and Hamid we hadn't lost any wickets, but I still didn't let myself believe that we were going to win because I was so scared of the collapse. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, well, I knew it was coming.
You saw it.
You could on that. I could say about both batting sides, like they had collapses in them. If I think India are playing on the situation, they would have not made it to that 100. So I could say that both teams had flaws in their batting section. So it's about
I would disagree to the point, but Raghav, like India showed some next level, fight, like from knocking.
I'm not talking about the openers, though. I'm not talking about the openers.
But
yeah,
it's the players, like it's the total map, like all the 11 players that matter.
yeah, but India never played it on the 5th day. So how can you judge that they were good?
See, that is one point that I would like to ask Dom. Do you feel England is being too defensive? We can take back at the New Zealand versus England Test match, chasing 248. When they have never shown any intent, they lose the Test match. But when Ben Stokes was there, he shows intent and he wins matches out of impossible. So. Yeah, exactly. So is that England, like when they see they're chasing, they're just gonna be like blunting with the dead bat and they're just gonna get nicked off every single time? Like how many balls can you defend?
I completely agree. If you go out to defend, I think we've gone out not to lose. We either want to win or a draw, but we don't want to lose. And effectively, I think that's costing us the most. It's just what frustrated me more about the second loss more is I don't think India bowled us out. I think we got ourselves out. I don't think the wickets were they were obviously good balls, but I think they were more bad shots or bad decision making rather than good balls. If someone bowls an absolute jaffa, you go well bowled. But I don't think out of the 10 wickets that really happened, and that was what was more disappointing. Really, is that we didn't get bowled out. We gave our wickets away.
I mean, it's not like England hasn't chased down. Like, okay, this is white ball game is completely different to the red ball game, but but then they have the players who can take that attack. Like you have Johnny Bairstow as an example. You have players like Toru, Moeen Ali. All these players they know how to. They know how to turn the tempo, right? But Josh Butler, for example, everyone is there, but they know how to change the tempo and play. Like, but it's end of the day, it's your mindset. So, why is that they've been so defensive and they just go dead back every single time and then end up either drawing the match? I mean, most cases they end up losing than drawing. Like this is what happened in India. This is what happened in England as well. Except for one match where Ben Stokes thought, I'm gonna go for the victory. Like they went for a loss at that time, again going for the draw, but then Ben Stokes, like, there was nothing to lose and he gave all out, and that's how you win the Test match, right? So
I thought they
why
were
is that
doing
we
that
not
on
seeing
fourth
fight?
day. I thought they were quite constant on chasing this total on the fourth day evening, where they are thinking the pitch is doing absolutely nothing. They're not gonna get me a super ball and which comes and bowls me. So
Yeah.
they're on conflict. I don't know what changed in the morning though. Asim Amit came batting weird. So
As much as I'd hate to admit it, I think the big difference between England and India is in those scenarios, England have a fear of losing. India don't fear losing. All they see is winning.
yeah,
And
because they know
yeah,
they lose badly. So
that's what I mean. That England have just got a mindset of fear of losing rather than
yeah,
trying to win. Whereas obviously when you've got Virat Kohli as captain, all he does, he bleeds winning.
yeah.
So
Like,
I think
I
that's
mean,
just the difference.
I mean, that's one confidence where I want to see like what I saw from Rohit Sharma. He was blunting dead bat all day, and when he came to 94, he smacked a six, and he went to his 100. Like, these kind of players, they got both sides in them. But it's just that their mindset at that particular time, which is where India like completely stood out. Like, to be honest, I expected the series to go down as 4-1. Like, I thought like if the first Test match would have gone there, that it was a definite India win. Like the
Please
way
keep
England
doing
played.
that. I want you to say
I
those kind
regret.
of predictions.
Yeah, but I hate to say
He
it,
said the
but
same
I
when we are
hate.
in Australia.
I.
He told it's gonna be 4-0, and he was so happy when
I
we
mean,
got out 36 all out, and it turned all bad.
I hate to say it, but it's I agree with it. Like you have to accept the truth. The truth could be
Yeah.
bitter, but you still gotta accept it. So
That
yes,
mindset.
Raghav,
Yeah.
you got any questions for Dom as a India fan, or any consolations, or anything that you want to put
No, I
forward?
just want to ask him.
Consolations.
No, Tom, I just want to ask you about this. Like, is the 100 or all these new formats and T20 cricket is playing huge role on what's going on in England batting and Test cricket batting depth?
Yeah, I want to say yes, but I think it's been happening for a while. I think T20 cricket has obviously, I think it's been hindering Test cricket for a very long time, especially coaching youngsters. Because if you look 10 years ago, if you look at the England team, probably none of them played T20, whereas the England squad now, or the England team that plays Test cricket now, almost all of them play T20, and they're in the T20 squad. So it does hinder it, but obviously it hinders Test cricket, which is a shame. But you look at the pros.
Yeah.
The pros of how it's affected world cricket.
Yeah, they're
yeah. So.
I mean, to be honest,
I think
after 2015 World Cup, I guess they told this is not good. Like we are going to completely change our approach and what we're going to do in white ball cricket. So I think they focused on it more and left this part of the game a bit less, I would say.
Yes. So yeah.
Before the closing remarks, if you remember, for the first preview we did for the England versus India series, we predicted the 2-2 results at the end of the fifth test. It's almost there. After the end of fourth test, it's 2-1, and hope this cancelled test match will be happening at least in the near future. Yes, BCCI promised to have this in the next year, where India is again going to come to England for a bilateral series. That's a white ball format. But hope that test match will be part of this fifth test match rather than ICC saying this as a cancelled one or forfeited one. So I want to see the match between both teams. Yes, the hype won't be there. The expectations won't be there after 1 year. Let's see. I want to see the battle once again.
Well, we still know what one outcome is going to be. Is that Jimmy Anderson's going to get Virat Kohli out?
Oh, he gets knocked out right away.
I'm thinking maybe James Anderson is going to retire after these Ashes.
No, he just gave a post today. He feels like
Yeah.
35 odd. So
34.
why would he
Yeah, no,
retire?
he's good.
I mean,
He's gonna play
I'm
forever.
I'll be excited to see Jofra Archer back and Ben Stokes by
That's a
that time.
positive.
Yeah, that would be a
Joffrey will be a
completely
while, I think.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe Virat Kohli will relinquish his captaincy.
I mean,
Raghav?
that was,
I also
I don't
wanted
think.
to ask Tom one more thing.
Yeah.
Did England focus more on Ashes, do you reckon, in this part of time? Like they're all focusing on what's gonna happen to these players when they go to Australia, or how are we gonna bowl
Yeah.
them? So
100%. Yeah. Even me personally, this series, I was excited for the cricket, but realistically, I wasn't overly bothered if we lost. It was all about getting prepared for the Ashes.
Oh.
So I think everyone, I think that's a lot of how people have viewed it. I think that's how the England players, England coaching, I think that's how they're viewing it as well.
I would say good luck. All the best.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I also want to add one more point. It's the first time we are seeing India touring, England back to back.
Yeah.
They normally don't tour this often to England.
It's because they lose.
Speculations.
That's because of the cycle, I guess.
Speculations.
That's because of the World Test Championship cycle.
No, to accommodate the
No,
fifth
I mean,
test,
definitely.
Raghav.
Sorry. What?
To compensate for
going to-
everyone. Bhavi is saying they're compensating for the fifth test match by playing a white ball series. So we know.
Anyway, he has
we'll
to
see.
play that because they stayed 1 month free in England, which normally they used to play ODI and T20 cricket. It should be a whole package series, but 100 is going on. They have to do it.
All right, boys. So that's it. So we had a great conversation today. So we got Dom, and thank you very much, Dom, for joining in today.
Thank
and
you.
hope to see
Thank
you
you.
more. Especially, I want to see your comments on that England when they play for the World Cup. Can we see them winning, or can we see them
Oh,
get kicked out?
when we win it, yeah. When we win it, yeah.
So we'll see about it, and we'll
After
get back to you on that.
I'll give these boys a positive. You're gonna knock out by Sri Lanka, so be careful.
I mean, it's not like Sri Lanka didn't, beat you in your home turf in England, so
Yeah.
in World Cup, even though it was a World Cup winning team. Well,
Mhm.
citing on that point, we're gonna wrap up today's conversation. And it was an amazing conversation, guys. Thank you very much for all of you guys for joining in, and all of your viewers for tuning in for this long. And yes, do like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna have more content coming your way. See you soon. Take care.